been a community partner with the gavel-series from the inception of the series, when the concept was just a thought in our minds. So right now I'd like to bring Judge Jackson to the stage to give you all a formal welcome. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I would like, first of all, to thank each of you for getting up this morning and coming to be with us. And I'm extremely excited, very excited. This is our 4th year and our first series of the year. The series was started in 2013. I want to say it was February 2nd. On behalf of our District Attorney, Elton Mathis, our Dean, Tamara Brown, and you met Attorney Grady, I want to welcome you. You're not here to listen to me, so I'm going to move away. But again, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please encourage all of your family and your friends to vote, to register to vote, to get to know the candidates. Also, make sure you stop and look at the easels that we have around the forum. Please do that, and welcome.
And now I'd like to invite one of our Blackstone pre-law students to come to the stage. And she is going to set the historical background for the event. Ms. Tiffany Moore.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Tiffany Moore. I am a junior political science major, legal studies minor, and I'm from Fort Hood, Texas. Voting has always been an issue within the United States for African Americans. It has been something African Americans marched for, fought for, and died for. It was their very mission to guarantee blacks had the right to vote. There were things that kept us from voting, such as you had to be of white privilege, you had to own land, and you had to be a Protestant man. After states began to eliminate the requirements, you only had to be a white man. There were also things such as literacy tests, poll tax, and Jim Crow laws that also prevented blacks from voting. It wasn't until the Voting Rights Act of 1965, signed into office by President Lyndon B. Johnson during the height of the Civil Rights Movement, that ensured we had the right to vote. This was long before current students at Prairie View A&M University. So what now? Why all this fuss about getting our campus out to vote? In 1960s and 70s, our alumni marched and petitioned for our students to have the right to vote here on campus. Also, historically, we had to march against previous district attorneys to give Prairie View the students' right to vote. Moving forward to current events in 2012, our student body had a campaign saying, "No vote, no voice." It is no shock that other universities such as Texas A&M has never had an issue with voting and early voting on our campus. These difficulties were just never present. Now that we have this opportunity, it is imperative that we take full advantage of it, because we had so many people fight for this opportunity. Get out and vote. Thank you very much.
So without any delay, we will proceed with our forum. And assisting me as a co-moderator is Ms. Rebecca Preston, and she too is a member of the Blackstone Pre-Law Society. Brielle Wilson, who is also a member of the Blackstone Pre-Law Society, will be our timekeeper. So we'll ask all the candidates to please make note of Brielle. Brielle, would you stand? She's seated, and she will show you the time cards. Okay. We will bring the first group of candidates who we will bring up will be County Commissioner Race Precinct 3. Will those candidates please come to the stage and take their seat? And we have your names: Mr. Jerome Barnett, Mr. Mudufaro Easy, Mr. Darrell Johnson, and Mr. Brian Rollins. You're Darrell Johnson. We will start out by allowing each candidate to give a 3-minute opening statement. After that, we will proceed with a question for each candidate, and each candidate will be allowed 3 minutes to answer the question. After we complete our questions, we will open it up to the audience for you to ask questions, and if you would please approach the mics with your questions, and the audience Q&A will be a total of 10 minutes. Are we ready, gentlemen? All right. We will start with Mr. Jerome Barnett.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for this opportunity to appear before you this morning. My name, once again, is Jerome Barnett. I'm the current county commissioner for Precinct 3. I was elected in 2012. I started in 2013, and currently I'm here now. The Lord say the same. Tomorrow, I'll be 53 years old, and I thank God that I've had this opportunity to serve you. I've served in the United States Army and the United States Navy. I've been a police officer ever since 1984, still serving. And I've had the opportunity to also serve you here in the city of Prairie View as your police chief from 2009 to 2012. We've had a lot to do here in Precinct 3 and the county as a whole, and we've done a lot. We've gotten a lot of things done. I'm honored, I'm glad that I've been able to bring voting, help bring voting back to the campus, new community center, new health clinic, our roads, and things of this nature. Our county facilities, bringing up our new county facilities to new parking lots. There's a lot more to do, folks, and I'm glad to do a lot more. We still have things on the table as far as a public defender's office for those indigent persons who cannot afford legal representation, transportation, try to get our bus services back. And also we need to look very, very hard at servicing our depressed and mentally ill individuals. Once again, thank you very much for this opportunity, and I ask for your support in this upcoming election. Thank you.
Mr. Easy.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the gavel-series, Attorney Grady, Judge Jackson, and everybody that's supporting this whole movement of this forum. My name is Mudufaro Easy. I'm running for Water County Commissioner, Precinct 3. I'm a student here, sophomore student, graduated in 2018. I plan to go to get my master's from this university in justice studies. I'm a business owner in Houston. I run a car dealership out of Houston, and I have experience in growth of finance and as well as economic growth. What I'm trying to do is trying to make a connection between the university and the community. We have had a lot of instances where the Sandra Bland instance and other instances where students have been harassed by officers of Waller County. I want to say that there's a type of situation to where we don't have enough connection with our elected officials. We don't have enough connection with, there's a lot of pandemonium where we're just not there yet. So I don't want to take up too much time, but it's a little nervousness, 19 years old, turning 20 next week, Saturday. So I'm very young, so just excuse my nervousness right now. But I'd like to thank you guys for letting me speak here today and let me be on this forum. Thank you.
Mr. Johnson.
Hi, I'm Darrell Johnson. I've lived in this community since 1999. I have 35 plus years of background in the legislative process, both in Washington and in Austin. We all know that our financing, our funding, basically comes from those two places. I have the experience to know where to go and the knowledge of the people who are giving those out. And that's my biggest draw, I think, to this position. But what I also want to do is I want to be able to have a student committee that's going to advise me on what the campus needs and what young people need. I'm 54 years old. I'm not going to even play like I know what a 21-year-old thinks about. I have interns now. Some of them are here. And they'll tell you, they make decisions, they run the show. We're supposed to be teaching our youth how to progress and be better. So when they go into their professional lives, then they're going to automatically excel. I also want to be able to have a senior committee that meets monthly that talks about senior needs. Right now, we don't have anything in this community for seniors. And I don't think that's acceptable for those people who've given their lives and their time. We have bright and brilliant people of all ages in this community, in this precinct, and we need to be taken advantage of. I am not going to be a person you see when it's time for election. You're going to see me all the time. You see me all the time now. I thank you for your support. I'm Darrell Johnson. I'm running for County Commission, Precinct 3.
Mr. Rowland.
Good morning. I want to say thank you to the people who put together the gavel-series. This is a great opportunity for the community to come out and hear from their candidates and from us to hear from the community. This is one of the things that I will plan in a quarterly conversation in Precinct 3 in the county to have once I'm elected. Many of you know me as the advocate for the people, working for you. My issues are promoting economic development, maintain safety and security, and open governance. All those issues are main important issues. One, the experience. Former city councilman in the city of Prairie View for about 7 years, a mayor pro tem of the city of Prairie View, a business owner, but currently a doctoral student here at Prairie View A&M University. Many of you don't know me. I got to Prairie View in 2002 and was one of the students who set up, whose name is actually on the lawsuit against the district attorney in Waller County in 2004, which is the example they use in the Voting Rights Act under Section 5. This long battle of Voting Rights Act didn't just start in 2015. This has started a long time, and many people in here were part of that. All we have to do is continue it. Voting rights is important, but we also need, as commissioners, we need to address the public defender's office. If we had a public defender's office, some of the issues for Sandra Bland wouldn't be as they are today. Waller County doesn't have a public defender's office. Our community center, one of the main issues for Precinct 3. Precinct 3 has different types of communities. We're the urban part of Precinct 3. But we stretch all the way back to Monaville. It's understanding the community and knowing what we have. Again, the leadership. Again, I led many organizations. I'm an assistant scoutmaster for the Prairie View Boy Scouts Troop 1906. I'm a volunteer firefighter here in this community. I've been on city council. I'm with the Prairie View Chamber. And I can list many things, but it's not listing. It's about the work of the people and the work in this community. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do when I get elected. I'm going to tell you about the things that I have done already for the last 10 years in this community that has helped people in this community. So hopefully I look forward to the discussion and the deliberation about many things on how we can impact, change Waller County Waller County Precinct 3 to make this a better place for everybody. But we all have to get engaged, and I look forward to working with everybody. Again, my name is Brian Rowland, and I have the experience, leadership, and I want to work for you.
Thank you, Mr. We will start our first question with Mr. Barnett, and we're going in alphabetical order, as you can see. Mr. Barnett, what have you done for the citizens of Waller County in the past?
Thank you for that question. I'm not going to bore you with the answer. I'm just going to give you the truth. I've been in Prairie View. I live here. My wife's family, born and raised right here. Her family go back to slavery. Her fourth great grandfather was one of the first students here at Prairie View Training School at the time. For the past 27 years, I have inundated myself within the community, from the simple things as just trash pickup, beautifying our community, to working with things. We talked about the march that for the right to vote. Ladies and gentlemen, I designed the safety route for that march. So when you started from this university and you went down State Highway 290, I designed that route to ensure that we got there safely and that we got back. So I have been inundated in things in this community for a long time. As my children inundated in the community, they're part of the 4-H and FFA program right here that is established here at Prairie View A&M University. Once again, my wife, born, raised, well, she was born in Houston, a hospital. Owen Franklin was closed down at the time. Born in Houston, but when they kicked her out the hospital, this is where she came. This is where she's been ever since. So I got here by shotgun. When I married her, she said, we're going to Prairie View to live. I say, I have no problems with that. I've also, as police chief, I've had the opportunity to serve the community. One thing I did when I came in as police chief, I established a citizens advisory committee where I had many members of the community sitting on that committee. The reason that committee was established so that our community would have a say in their law enforcement, because it is very important that law enforcement understands the community first. And another thing that I did is incorporate in our community policing program our Meals on Wheels program, to where I, as chief, along my wife volunteered, some other family members volunteered, to where we actually went out 2 times a week and we passed out meals to those that were in the Meals on Wheels program. Not only that, I consider myself as a gatekeeper for this community. Ladies and gentlemen, I love Prairie View, and you that know me know that I do. And I have no problem putting myself on the front line to continue to protect you, protect our city, and do those things that are necessary for our city to be the great city that it can be. I've sat in the living rooms of many of our citizens, asking for your advice, asking you how to get it done, and I will continue to do that as your commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Easy, what have you done for the citizens of Waller County in the past?
Well, I am a new person in Waller County. I came here 2014, fall 2014. That's when I started at school. Well, since I've been here, I've been helped not as much as I want to in the whole Waller community, but I have been in Prairie View, Texas. I have helped inform students and get them involved in different actions on campus, such as the open carry that's coming to our campus this year. I have tried to engage students in more of what's happening, more politics, and just the likelihood of what's happening outside. We are in election year, so there's a lot of things that are happening. There's a lot of people that are running that aren't running for the right reasons. So I want to engage students. I want to get that connection to students. So I haven't really done things in the whole Waller County, but I am branching out more. I do want to branch out more. I want to talk to more people and get involved in more things. But as I am right now, I am trying. So I'll just say that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, what have you done for the citizens of Waller County in the past, sir?
Great question. I started the men's breakfast, men's prayer breakfast, which Mayor Jackson, thank you for coming, has had the opportunity to speak, which Commissioner Barnett also, I believe, has had an opportunity to speak to. But what it did was it brought the men and Pastor Hayes as well. What it did, it brought the men of this community together to be able to talk about common issues and interests that affects all of us. I also started the Prairie View Men's Caroling Christmas program, which now for 9 years. This is the 9th year. So I didn't just start doing these things because I was going to run for county commissioner. I started doing it because I live here. We raise our children here. But back to the caroling. We're able to go to the home of the sick, the elderly, the shut-in, those people that Christmas would not be a happy time for. to be able to bring some joy to them. And I'm very proud of the things that I've done. I've also started a college ministry program where we do dinners for different college groups. I've taken on for 4 years a group of college students, which behind Texas A&M University, we had the largest number of students to Camp Allen to a Episcopal religious retreat where all college students in this area get together. And I'm very proud of the things that I've done. I have assisted the Waller County Economic Development Commission on legislation in my role as a registered lobbyist. And once again, I didn't start doing these things just because I wanted to run for office. If that was the case, I would have run a long time ago. I did it because it's the right thing to do, and it was the right time to do it.
Thank you. Mr. Rowland, what have you done for the citizens of Waller County in the past?
Great question. Again, as I stated, when I got to Prairie View in 2002, my name is on the lawsuit in 2004 against District Attorney Oliver Kitzman that started students' right to vote here in Waller County. That re-brought it back because, again, this is not the first time. The order of 1978 started here at Prairie View A&M University. But that was just one issue of voting rights. Helped organize the march in 2004, the march in 2008, in reference for, again, students' right to vote. Again, as a state officer for the Texas NAACP, where I've been a member for 20 years, I was the Youth and College Division President here at Prairie View. When we had the opportunity as students to voice, to have a voice, and we had people who were in Commissioner's Court who didn't want to hear, who wanted to mute our voice. It was me in 2012 who was a part of a lawsuit that was filed for around voter ID. I was deposed by the Secretary of State. My name is on record as far as being an advocate for people's right to vote, not just in Prairie View, not just in Waller County, but around the state of Texas. At the federal courthouse in San Antonio when they heard the case. Part of the team. Again, not just in Prairie View, not just in Waller County, but the state of Texas. Again, as we move from a student and graduating, wanting to help and impact this community, I ran for city council, where I got elected. And me and other city council people, along with the mayor, after 40 years, we were able to actually give what's called a city hall that opened in 2009. Was the MC of that, MC massive ceremonies for that when we opened the building. Many people can talk about what they want to do, but I can show you what we have done. There's a building where you can go look at. We talk about, again, My Brother's Keepers program, which is a national program put out by President Obama. There are 100 cities, 4 cities in Texas. You want to think of a city that's on the list? Prairie View, Texas. That's what I brought to the table, got city council to move forward and the mayor to accept the challenge by President Barack Obama. The city of Prairie View is on the list. Check it out, My Brother's Keepers. Prairie View has a mentoring program called Black and Brown Brothers, BQ. Helped to start that, initiate that 2 years ago. It's a multi-level mentoring program here on this campus. I just don't talk about it, I am about it. Again, I want to impact this community. I want to be a voice for serving our community to make sure that we get what is just due. Again, my name is Brian Rowland, and I thank you for your support, and I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Barnett,
Yes.
why should the voters choose you instead of your opponents?
I have 35 years combined experience serving the public. That's all I've done with my life. My first oath for office, I gave at the age of 17 to go in the United States military. I hadn't even graduated high school yet. Dad wanted to kill me for doing so, but nonetheless, here I am. I have put my life and dedicated my life to the service of this community, to the service of this university. As commissioner, I have, Mr. Rowland talked about My Brother's Keeper program. I encourage you all to look at that because you will also see my name on that. as my brother's keeper program, as far as helping to get the city of Prairie View indoctrinated in that. Also, my wife's name, who's a city council member here in the city. Also, along with that, the university, as commissioner, and even more before commissioner, as police chief, I assisted students as much as I possibly could. One thing I made sure, because we know that when it comes down to our records will make us or break us in this life. No matter what you do, no matter how great you are, if you have a record with a blemish, anything can be used as an excuse not to do for you, for us. So, I would help students as much as I possibly can, even those that we had to come in contact with in the matters of law enforcement. I feel good because I had 2 students that we had to deal with. As a matter of fact, one female we had to take before Judge Elaine Jackson and her office, and we had a situation with her that we were able to come to a conclusion on. But you know the great thing about that? That young lady, a couple of years later, I got a call from Dallas Police Department, a recruiter. That young lady was trying to get on with the police department. And they asked me about that situation. And I was able to tell that recruiter that there wasn't any reason why that young lady could not be a police officer. So it's about being able to help others. As commissioner, I have, when I first came into office, a strategic plan for this county. The first thing I did was have my colleagues that I'm up there serving with look at this university as a major resource for this county. Always have been, always will be. The university is indoctrinated in our strategic planning for Waller County. We meet here. I'm on campus all the time, ladies and gentlemen. You don't see me because I'm meeting with individuals trying to plan for our county. Now, if you see me walking around, that means I'm not working. I need to be working. So I have indoctrinated the university in that. We have a major project proposed, 36A.
Thank you, Mr. Moore.
Yes, ma'am.
Very easy. Why should the voters choose you instead of your opponents?
Well, I believe, I'm a student, so I'm a student here. Students here in this county and in this precinct take up the majority of this precinct. So having the representation as a student is a great way to move forward. Not only that, but I'm not just here to represent the students, I'm not just here to represent the old, I'm not just here to represent one particular group or particular party, I'm here to represent the whole precinct as a whole. Because that's what a candidate should do. You shouldn't just represent one place and not the other, because that would mean somebody's getting disenfranchised. So I'm here to create that connection between everybody. I don't just want, hey, you're my friend, I know you, so I'm gonna help you out. No, I'm gonna help everybody out. So having that connection to voters, talking to voters, seeing what we need in this precinct is a great way and a great candidate that I believe every candidate on this panel should be trying to strive toward making that connection. So me personally, I believe I have that, let's just say, integrity, and I have that class to where I know what needs to be done. I know how we need to move forward, and I know how we need to progress in this county and in this precinct. So that's why I believe that's the difference between the other candidates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Johnson, why should the voters choose you instead of your opponents?
Well, once again, great question. County government is the lowest rung of state government. For the past 35 years, I have been working in both Washington and Austin in the legislative, the executive, and the policy arenas of government. I've worked with the Secretary of State's office, the Texas Water Development Board, the Texas Water Commission. I have been able to meet and develop relationships with those people that are making decisions about where money goes, where resources goes, where programs goes. I believe I'm the only person up here that has that experience. For 15 years, I ran a independent registered lobbying firm where I represented people and entities such as Halliburton, Associated General Contractors, Texas Society of Professional Engineers, Consultant Engineers Council. I have made the relationships and I've made inroads into the companies that can develop business infrastructures in Precinct 3. With business infrastructure, we can grow this community. With growing this community, students can then have internships. We can bring rooftops, which means at that point, your property taxes go down and your services go up. And I believe that's where we want to be. I have been trained for this point and this time.
Thank you. Mr. Rowland, why should voters choose you instead of your opponents?
Thank you for the question. As I was listening to all three of the other candidates, something popped into my mind about the ability to have the vision to see something, but to actually be able to execute. Why do I feel I'm the best candidate for this position? Because I'm going to impact you. Everyone gave a big vision of what they want to do, but everyone wants to know how you're going to be impacted. One, promoting economic development. In Waller County, there is no 24-hour Walmart. There is no 3-star hotel. It is about bringing together everybody on Commissioner's Court and the 6 municipalities together to have a conversation about what the county's economic development plan is, because we're not all continuously working to move on. A landfill is not economic development for some who consider that. Again, on City Council, I opposed and had a resolution against the landfill. 2, maintaining safety and security. Jail standards in the Public Defender's Office in Waller County, which means if you get pulled over and you have a public defender, you'll have someone so you would be able to get out of jail on your own reconnaissance. Also, jail standards in Waller County. From some of the recent things that has happened, there's reports out and county commissioners aren't holding the county sheriff's office accountable. That affects you. We go down to open government. Again, like I said, having quarterly meetings with the community in all sections of Precinct 3. I am a Prairie View student, currently a doctoral student who graduated in August. I am an alumnus of Prairie View, but I also live in the city of Prairie View. It is being able to, the county is an economic driver just like the city. It's about having a conversation and bringing people to the table. You can't have a university stadium, you can't have a city and you have a county building next to it, and the county hasn't had a discussion or dialogue on how that is an economic development driver for this county. Dollars and cents. The gas station that just opened on 290, that's in the city of Prairie View. I helped to support that opening when many people was against it. Even many people was against it. But that brings not only sales tax revenue in the city of Prairie View, that's also that sales tax revenue that is generated for the county. We need more people coming together who can actually do it. And I'm one of the people who can do it, who have done it. Again, many of you came here supporting a candidate. And, you know, I'm glad you support that candidate. But Brian Rowland is the best candidate to support you on Commissioner's Court. That don't mean you can't love the candidate you came with. That just means if you want something done, please support Brian Rowland, because we're all in this together.
Thank you.
Mr. Barnett,
Yes, ma'am.
how will you use the money in Commissioner Precinct 3's budget?
As I've been using it. We talk about bringing all this here. The fact of the matter is that our county is ran on taxes. That's it. It's not no pie in the sky. It's not the United States government. It's not the state government that's going to bring us all this money. State government tells us to do something, but they don't give us the money to do it with. So what we have to do, we have to come up with innovative ways to get that money. One thing that we have done, we have brought economic development into Waller County. Okay? You can't make a business come here. You can only work with that business and hope that they will get here. So that's one way that we would do it. The other thing, we have to build something that the people want so that we can get that tax money. One thing that I have supported is the new development that's coming along Muse Road. Mr. Roy G. Perry, who's the engineering building is named after, who's also one of the main individuals for bringing this beautiful stadium that we're getting built here on campus, who I've worked with several times, continue to work with, who is a supporter of mine. Working with him, he's bringing a development along Muse Road that is going to bring upper level housing, research center for the university, restaurants, a bank, a pad for a 24-hour urgency care clinic. That's how you get the tax base up. Now the rooftops are going to come, ladies and gentlemen, but it has to be a reason for those rooftops to get here. So you're talking about those who say they can do, I've done it. I've gotten us a medical clinic in the county. I've gotten us a new community center coming. I've worked to get voting back on this campus. I've gotten our roads taken care of. So it's being done, and it will continue to be done. The Public Defender's Office, my good friend Senator Rodney Ellis was down here with me just this past Wednesday in Commissioner's Court, pushing that with me, a Public Defender's Office. I'm not talking it, I'm doing it. Getting our transportation back so that we will have a bus service here. Working with our depressed and mentally ill persons. That's what we have to do. So we can look at the record, and we can pull the record, and I can show you the record that it's being done, and I'm the one who's doing it for you.
Thank you. Mr. Easy, how will you use the money in Commissioner Precinct 3's budget?
So you can't make a business come here, but you can make the place where this is going to become more attractive. So fixing our roads, creating more lights, and things of that nature to make our area look more attractive for businesses to want to come here. That's what makes businesses come. On a second note, we have the way, this is my personal opinion, the way the budget is now for Precinct 3 is not being used the way I would plan to use it. We have areas where they're undeserved. We have ditch holes. We have our JP3 office in Monaville where we need things over there. Our constable's office where we need things over there aren't being budgeted correctly. I just feel like the way things are right now with our budget is being put towards other things. Other precincts are getting more things than what Precinct 3 is getting right now. It's being used better than other precincts from what I've heard and what I've seen in Commission's Court. So the plan I have for the budget is to create better roads, is to create more lighting on back roads that we have that students should actually travel on, is to invite more businesses, because we can invite businesses, we can make it more attractive, and that's what we need to get done, to make more economic growth in this precinct.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, how will you use the money in Commissioner Precinct 3's budget?
I would not only look at the money that's allocated, I would look at resources. Now we heard that the state tells you what to do, but doesn't give you any money to do it. There's hundreds of millions of dollars in grants and funding that the state and the federal government will allocate to you if you have a plan. So I would want to do a one-to-one dollar match with what we have and what we should bring in. You can't build rooftops. I mean, we can talk about the great accomplishments that this county has made, but if you look around Precinct 3, you don't see it. And I commend the county I commend you for the difficult work that you have to do. It's not easy. It's not easy, but nothing that's worth having is easy. We have to have someone with experience that's been dealing with these people to bring those extra funds in so that we can see more progress in Precinct 3, so that we can see a business infrastructure in place, so that we can have the growth that we need, so that at that point you do have rooftops, so at that point you do have more tax revenue coming in and less property taxing monies going out.
Thank you. Mr. Rowland?
Very well said.
How will you use the money in Commissioner Precinct 3's budget?
So my understanding, I don't know if that's a loaded question, Precinct 3 doesn't have an itemized separate budget.
Yes.
So first, everyone who answered that question, then just the understanding of Waller County has a budget. and this is allocated based upon the expenditures and things that need to move forward in the county. Now, as a commissioner in Precinct 3, I would advocate for projects and opportunities to come to this particular precinct, i.e. we're building a stadium, i.e. there's several developments going on in this municipality, and the county is not engaged in any of them. First. Second is that what I would advocate for is for, Waller County has businesses going. Waller County goes from 290 to I-10. There's businesses coming in Waller County often and fast. None of them to Precinct 3. Prairie View is the urban part of Precinct 3. So the answer to your question, there is no itemized budget for Precinct 3, but it's to advocate what are the things of Precinct 3 that we would want to put in the budget. And that is to making sure that we have, that our roads are getting taken care of, i.e. Owens roads. Making sure that we have all our MOUs with our partnering municipalities, i.e. the city of Prairie View, our interlocal agreements, that we have a schedule when engineering work is going to be done. So if a municipality has some work that needs to be done in the same area, you can kill two birds with one stone. What I bring is being able to have the organization and the understanding of the checks and balances, means the debits and credits on how the budget functions and how it works. So, but to let you know, Precinct 3 does not have its own budget to spend. We don't have that type of government here in Waller County.
Councilor, may I?
We're going to move on to the next question, sir. And you may address that in your closing statement. Yes.
This will be the last question before we open it up for Q&A. Mr. Barnett, how would you make yourself available to the citizens given the fact that you are paid and the position is full-time?
Thank you. And you're right, this position is full-time. Many work this position as though it's part-time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the only job I have, okay? I don't leave your office and go work at the feed store, grocery store, and nothing else. This is it. I am available 24/7, and the citizens that have contacted me at wee hours of the night or early in the morning, you know. My number is public. It's public. I give my number out every time. If you need me, I will be there. I always have, and I always will be. Thank you. Great question.
Thank you. Mr. Easy, how would you make yourself available to the citizens given the fact that you are paid and the position is full-time?
Well, I'm going to give myself a position on every advertisement I've had out there, have my social number. I'm planning to be more open with more citizens. I plan to be in the face of more citizens because that's what citizens want to see. They want to see you out there doing work. They don't want to hear you doing work. They want to see you doing work. And that's what I want to bring. I want to show people what work I'm doing. I want to show people that I'm working for them. I want to bring more openness to the government, more transparency to the government, and this county altogether. So having that openness, I believe, will make more citizens more believable, more trustworthy toward the government, toward Waller County government. And that's what I believe. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, how will you make yourself available to the citizens given the fact that you are paid and the position is full-time?
I don't believe that citizens should have to come to me. As a commissioner, I should be coming to you. I should be having monthly meetings with the mayors. I should be having monthly meetings with the clergy. I should be having monthly meetings with the senior citizens. I should be having monthly meetings with the student advisory groups. I should be so seen that people will say, do you ever spend time at home?
Very good.
Thank you. Mr. Rowland, how...
I would just continue to do the work that I've done in my city council. Again, out involved in the community, so people are already seeing me doing many other different things. I told you about the many things that I participated in prior to. In regards to the paid county commissioner's position, that's a paid position because it's a full-time commitment, but it's not a full-time commitment by myself. The goal would be to be able to bring on some staff people, students to engage them, like I've again done outside of many other organizations, but also as on city council, we brought in an internship program to be able to engage students, but also engage the community, going to different events, and just being involved. You know, when you're putting out many ideas to get things done, you don't really have to go anywhere if you're the one putting out the ideas. So again, the goal is to stay active, to stay visible, and to engage the community more. Go to their meetings like I've been going. But again, it's a paid position. That's not the reason why I'm running. The reason why I'm running is to serve this community. Again, we've already talked about the things that need to be impacted and the things that the more strides that we have to do. Again, not to say that the current commissioner hasn't worked, but we've had other commissioners prior to him who has worked too. The goal is, I think right now I have the experience and the leadership to take it to the next level.
Thank you. We will allow a 1-minute closing statement for each candidate. Mr. Barnett.
Yes, thank you again. Ladies and gentlemen, the office of county commissioner, by legislative law, you take care of the budget for the county, roads and bridges. Everything else you do is because you want to and you see that it needs to be done. Okay? In Precinct 3, we have spent over $1.5 million on our roads alone. Our schedule to spend another $700,000 this year on roads. Precinct 3 roads have now become some of the better roads and best roads in Waller County. And it didn't happen just by osmosis. It happened by being out there. It happened by getting out there and advocating for those roads to be done. I made you 4 promises when I campaigned in 2012. I promised you a medical clinic. We got it. I promised you a new community center. It's being built. I promised to do my best to get voting back on this campus. It's here. Not only general voting, but early voting. Okay? And I promised to make sure that we have better roads in our precinct, and we do. Muse Road, Richards Road, Whitechapel, Owens Road is scheduled to be done this year. It doesn't happen overnight, folks. You can't undo years and years of things that have not been done and expect them to be done overnight. You're going to have to get out. You're going to have
Thank
to
you,
work.
Mr. Barnett.
Thank you.
Mr. Reed.
So I'd like to take 10 seconds to address my experience, because that is a topic that's coming up a lot. If I was a commissioner, when I make decisions, I would not make a decision until I receive counsel, respective counsel from somebody that is able to guide me toward that direction. So I'm not going to be making inexperienced decisions. I may be inexperienced, but I won't be making inexperienced decisions. Another thing is, I'm a student here. I talk to students. I run into students every day. I run into citizens outside of this university. I'm trying to stay as engaged as possible to this community, because that's what you need to do. You need to be in their face, let them know that you're here, let them know that you're here to help them. You're not here for yourself. You're not here to receive a paycheck and go home. I don't clock in and clock out at 5 o'clock, which is close to business. I'm here 24/7. So I just want to say, if you want a type of government, transparency, if you want more public safety, if you want better jail systems, if you want a better precinct 3, I would say vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson.
I thank all of y'all for coming. I know Saturday morning could have been doing a lot of other things. Judge Jackson, I thank you. Mayor Jackson, thank you. Councilman Randall, thank you for coming. What I bring to the table is really simple. I bring experience. I bring experience in the legislature from Austin and Washington. Something that we hadn't had since the mayor left the Commissioner's Court. But I also bring a vision of an infrastructure that's put in place that we will have things not only in this county, but in Precinct 3. Things that you will be able to more readily take advantage of. Not having to get up and drive to XYZ. Waller County is growing. My understanding, it's the fastest growing county in this state. According to Senator Colforce, the 9th fastest in the country. But we need to keep pace with that growth. We need positive growth in Precinct 3. We need positive growth in Prairie View, Texas.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Rowland.
As I part, our community needs leadership that has a proven commitment to its residents like myself. Leadership that is intentional about advocacy, business impact, promoting safe and secure community, and open governance for the people. What I've not only told you, I've been able to demonstrate on the local level and also on the state level and a national level as a leader in this community. Again, my issues: promoting economic development, maintain safety and security, open governance. I'm an experienced leader working for you. Again, my name is Brian Rowland. If you have any additional questions, you can go to www.brianerowland.com and get more information for you to actually see what I've done in this community and how do I plan to represent you as your commissioner for Precinct 3. Again, thank you for allowing me to be able to speak today.
Thank you, thank you. And as the candidates depart the stage now, we are going to ask Judge Jackson to come up, and we'll ask our candidates for the Waller Democratic Chair race to come up to the stage now, and we're going to do some door prizes. We will entertain questions from the audience of all candidates at the end.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
My name is John Murphy. I'm a PVAMU vet. Studied for 30 years of law enforcement experience. I'm a resident of Waller County. I've been a resident for about a year and a half, and I'm new to Waller County, but I love Waller County. I'm running for council because I see some things that I don't think that is right. I don't see things that as a constable that I would do, and that I want to make a change. Number one is get the community more involved in decision making. Number two is be visible. The council needs to be visible. Council is a paid position. So I think if I'm council, I will be more visible. What I mean by being in office. So, with that, I'm going to leave it at that.
Thank you. Mr. Back.
Good morning. Appreciate being here today. I'm Dusha Bay. I've been a peace officer for 35 years. I'm a master peace officer. I'm a police instructor. I'm a crime prevention specialist. I'm also an investigator and self-defense instructor. I retired from the United States Air Force as a master sergeant where I was military intelligence. I was the first equal opportunity NCO in the DOD. I also a Vietnam veteran. Again, the issues at hand, I have to agree with Mr. Murphy, is visibility. I believe that the constable position is the people's police. And accessibility is one of the most important things that should go with that office. And I do believe that anytime the people need to be able to contact the constable should be available. The constable should be open to hear what the needs are, and being available would also be meaning for Waller County.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
My name is Herschel Smith, born and raised in Waller County, Hempstead, Texas. I'm a recipient of Nobel's Prize Community Service, Jefferson Award, local. From the national, it was set up by Jackie O'Kinney on NASA in 1972 as the Nobel Prize. I have always been in community service. I have 9 years in policing. I have 23 years in running a homeless shelter, which is another community service agency. I founded that organization. We brought homeless people, drug addicts off the streets of downtown Houston. I have done that without United Way money, without government money. And I bring the same thing to this agency. And I say to Precinct 3, why go backwards? We gave Duke 8 years. 8 years being in office. He's done nothing to really show the people that he wanted to move Precinct 3 to the 21st century. We wanted a piece of the pie. I fought for the piece of the pie, and we got a piece of the pie. We continually would get a piece of the pie. Murphy, I brought him back when everybody else wouldn't bring him in as a police officer. I brought him back and brought him to Waller County as a commissioner. He was the one who decided to leave this agency. Why? Because I wouldn't tolerate people who wasn't going to do a job. I have 30 deputies. Duke had about 6 or 8 deputies. We have tripled the number of deputies to the agency. We want to continually move this agency forward. In 3 years, I've done more in 3 years than Duke done in 8 years. I asked you to give me 4 more years so I can show you what I can do with the remaining 4 years, and we will make sure we continually move this agency forward. We got more uniforms. All our officers wear a uniform. When Duke had the office, you couldn't identify who worked for who. When Precinct 3 step out, everybody know who we are because we're going to have our police present. We're going to be in the community. We have been in the community more than any agency in Waller County. There's not one constable office have done what we have done. We brought in $50,000 private donation, not county money. When county wouldn't give us money to buy cars, there's no way we could run an agency with 30 people with 3 cars. Now we got 12 patrol cars without county money. So I say, don't move backwards, move forward. Herschel Smith, Precinct 3 Constable. Keep it.
Mr. Murphy, describe how you propose to interact with other law enforcement agencies in the county.
I would, number one, have, if I'm comfortable, have my deputies backing up other agencies. Not just riding around writing tickets to the students on a Prairie View. Which, as Mr. Smith said, I did work for him. He had us posted on 1098 in front of the college writing tickets. And was told that is the only place I went to go write tickets. Didn't understand. But I did my job. Now, yes, I did leave Precinct 3 on my own free will. Not because I didn't do my job. I'm currently also, now I'm a constable Precinct 1 because I'm doing my job. And I always did my job. But the things that he was doing, it just did not make sense. Writing students who are trying to get an education, don't have the money to pay no tickets, especially speeding tickets. But we, like I said, were told to write speeding tickets to the students coming off the freeway heading into the college.
Thank you. Mr. Bay, describe how you propose to interact with other law enforcement agencies in the county.
I would return to what Constable Smith was going backwards. When I was constable of Precinct 3, I had working relationships with every law enforcement agency in the county, primarily because the badge of a Texas peace officer is something that requires respect and integrity. Because I have respect and integrity regardless of my position, I have wonderful relationships with every officer agency in the county. So those relationships are still there. It would be a matter of making a phone call. We'd be there again.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, describe how you propose to interact with other law enforcement agencies in the county.
That's what we always have done, and what we have done since day one. Mr. Duke talked a good game here, but Mr. Duke, it's easy to say it, but to do it is another thing. Prairie View Police Department did not have Precinct 3 constables helping. We helped with Precinct Prairie View, the city of Prairie View, the university, all the agencies, the DA. We have a task force that worked with the DA. We have a task force that also worked within the county, and we have always been associated with every agency in this county. Now, those are individuals that talk about things like that. But Mr. Duke, when you was Precinct 3 constable, I did not see you helping the city of Prairie View. I saw a problem with Prairie View having not enough manpower. So we brought more manpower. We are constantly backing up the city of Prairie View because we want to continue to build that relationship. When you talk about protected and serving. All right, I live on University Drive. I'm accessible. My house is right across from Ring Arena. There's not a student, there's not an individual that can't come to my house and that have not came to my house. Many times they come knocking on my door when there's problems. I don't have a problem solving a problem with the people here because I'm a people person. I always have been a people person, gonna be a people person. But Mr. Duke, we didn't know who you were. Very few people know you as a constable.
Thank you. Mr. Murphy, how will you develop better relationships between the constable's office and the citizens?
Number one, which I think is very much needed, is a advisory board. That's with the police officers, with the precinct 3, and the community. When there's a problem, I think we need to involve the community. Let the community come in and help solve that problem. Put trust in the community. And the input that we can get from the community would help out a lot, a whole lot. Don't just make decisions yourself. Get somebody else involved. And the community is the best person to do it.
Thank you. Mr. Bay, how will you develop better relationships between the constable's office and the citizens?
One of the primary things that I would do is reach out to the professionals on the campus in regards to counselors, have them involved in some of the programs that would affect everyone. That situation would be required. Criminal justice interns, and also try to get representatives from every voter precinct to have a working group on their needs and things that can be addressed through that office.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, how will you develop better relationships between the constable's office and the citizens?
We have to bring people together. I believe in being proactive. I believe in that. Community policing is the best policing that we can ever implement in policing. You know, when I went to basic training, that's all they talked about. Community police, being proactive. And that's what we do. We being proactive. We out in the community. We out on University Drive. We out in the community when there's drugs being sold. We out there stopping the drug. We had true drug busts right where the young man got killed over here in the apartment. We was there before it happened. We was there to inform the city of Prairie View about what was going on because we wanted to make sure that we eliminate some of the things that take place that make our community safe. You know what? You know why it really disturbed me? Because I live on Dooley. Dooley, right where it happened is 1 block down the road from my house. You don't think I want to clean up Dooley Street? Of course. We got to be proactive. We got to be proactive in the community. We got to have the community telling us what is going on. We need your eyes. We need your ears. That's why we had a town hall meeting to continually build that relationship to let the community know we are there for you to protect and serve. That is the business of policing in the community, and the only way we can do it is touch the people.
Thank you.
Mr. Murphy, what are the major law enforcement challenges in Precinct 3?
Number one is the law enforcement in Precinct 3 can be more visible. Mr. Smith talked about they got X amount of cars. Every time you go by there, they park in the back. Nobody driving. So how you being visible because they're not being moved, which I don't understand. If I'm comfortable, those cars, I will make sure that those vehicles have definitely entered Precinct 3 patrolling. You don't need them sitting in the back. If they're not patrolling, that's going to deter the thieves and people that's going to break in your house. So there will be more visibility in the community, and with all of that, we're working together with the other agencies, especially the sheriff department, especially the Precinct 1. I'm a deputy Precinct 1 now, and I know I can count on the council over there to give us help if we need it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bay, what are the major law enforcement challenges in Precinct 3?
I have to agree with Mr. Murphy on the visibility. Constable Smith is trying to turn this into an attack on me. What the issues are, you got 30 deputies, you got all those cars. Who sees it? Where are they at? I had 4 or 5 deputies because Commissioner's Court limited me to 4 or 5 deputies, and I was visible. I did my job, and there are people in here who know I did my job. I will continue to do what needs to be done with the resources that I have, and also working with the other agencies. It was Precinct 3 constables that took over the city of Prairie View when they needed training. We provided their patrols. So speaking off the top of the head, guessing is an excellent trait if that's what you have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, what are the major law enforcement challenges in Precinct 3?
The challenge is whenever you move the bar in Waller County, especially when it come down to Precinct 3, Mr. Duke said they were given to 5, but I remember when I took office, when I was aggressive at bringing officers in, when we got around 15 officers, one of the commissioners said, Constable, how many people do you want to have? You know, how many people do you have? I said, I don't have as many as Precinct 1. Many as Precinct 2. I'm trying to catch up with Precinct 2. You know, every time we decide we're going to move the bar, they change the rules on us, just like most of you always know. Mr. Duke understand that. But of course, when you're not tuned in like Mr. Duke, you're a good old boy, and you let them go ahead and just dictate to you the way they want to dictate to you. People, let me tell you something. One thing about Constable Smith, I speak what I speak it once, I speak it twice. I don't buy down to the system. I believe that if we're going to change our community, we got to fight for our community. And that's what I had to do to get to 30 deputies. And when we got to 27 deputies, that's when they limited me to 30 deputies. I wanted to bring 5 more on so that we can have more deputies at least 3 times a day. You know, we use these deputies all month long. You can come and look at the sign-in sheet at my office. You can see when they come in, they give 24 hours, and that is volunteer hours. We do not pay, no one in my agency is paid. All of them are volunteer. They give 24 hours a month. You can come and look at the sign-out sheet. This costs the county nothing, but yet they refuse to let us have 5 more officers.
Mr. Bay, I'm going to deviate from the rules and allow you to respond, if you like.
I don't believe I really get to respond to Mr. Smith because he's a confrontational person. I don't feel like he's a confrontational. I, being a military man, being also a police officer 35 years, if I am limited to a budget, if I'm limited to a number of officers, I will do what I have to do with what I have. I did ask for more. They said no. I went to work. I was visible. I will continue to be visible. And I'm not going to get involved in character assassination. So I'm going to let him float in his own little water, and I'm going to go fishing.
All right, thank you. Thank you. The next question, Mr. Murphy, what is your general philosophy of law enforcement?
Protect and serve. The police officer is supposed to be visible, serve the public, be active, not reactive, and deter crime.
Thank you. Mr. Bay, what is your general philosophy of law enforcement?
My general philosophy is accessibility, availability, accountability. And that has been the platform that I've operated on since I became a Texas police officer in 1980.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Smith, what is your general philosophy of law enforcement?
My philosophy is protect and serve. You know, the old saying go as I learned years ago. You know, it said, if you walk like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a duck. My philosophy is what it is. You know, I'm gonna be proactive. I'm gonna be who I am inside. This is who I am. This is what you get. I believe that protecting and service the people in this community. I have seen how we, as Precinct 3, they have taken from us many times even when they moved the new building in that I've been asking for, and it took 2.5 years for me to get. If I hadn't went to the Commissioner Court and fight for a better condition, better office condition, I wouldn't have never got it. You know, it's easy to sit back and watch, but if you're not involved in watching the fight and watching what's going on, I have been fighting to make sure that we have the best agency that we can have, and the only way that can happen is that we ask for a piece of our pie and get it.
Thank you. Mr. Murphy, why should the voters choose you instead of your opponents?
Number one is I'm gonna be there for the community. and for the folks. My present constable is never there. What he don't realize, he told you all that he brought me down. He did. And I know what's going on in that office. I went over there 7 months and I never did see him. So all of this you say he doing, he did not do. He never was in our office. He never was in our office. My preference, I will be there. I'm going to be there for the public. If you come out of the office and I'm not there, leave your name or your address and I'll get back with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bay, why should the voters choose you instead of your opponents?
Because I intend to also be a full-time constable in a full-time capacity doing the job that needs to be done. The citizens who need to contact me, they won't have to go to a Houston Extra job to find me.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, why should the voters choose you instead of your opponents?
Because, first of all, why go backwards? Our president speaks for itself. Both of these guys said they've been in the military. I myself been in the military too. I got out of the military early, 3.5 years. In 3 years, in 16 months, I made sergeant. So I understood how to be a command sergeant. I understand how to be a leader. I understand how to be a leader when I ran a homeless shelter without United Way or without government money with a budget of $1.8 million. I understand all of that. So I understand that you put people around you. We got 30 deputies, and the 30 deputies that we have, we got way over 400 years of experience with deputies. You don't have to be around just like pastors of a church. You know, you don't micromanage anything. You put people in the office and you put them to work, and you hold them accountable for what's going on. We doing the work. You know, just because he doesn't see me or somebody don't see me, ask Mr. Murphy every time that when he came to get the key, where he had to get the key. He had to come get the key from my house. Ask them why. Because they did not want us to have an office at the old community center. They changed the lock of the building. After they changed the lock, they didn't tell me the lock that they changed. The keys of the cars was inside the building because they did not want us to be present around the university. But it doesn't take one man to be present. It takes all of us to be present. It takes a unified force to make it happen. That's what we have. We have a unified force, as some people want to call it, a posse. But no matter what, we're doing our work. We're doing the job that we need to do to protect and serve the community. Mr. Murphy needs to really tell the truth why he's really not with the agency, because he was on an extra job, out of uniform, didn't have his gun on, in a t-shirt, and in flocks. That's why he wasn't working for Precinct 3, because my standards was, and still is, raise the standard, strengthen the conviction. We raise the standard. Once you break those standards, we're going to strengthen the conviction. Because if you're not going to hold it right, we cannot use you in this agency.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much. We're going to allow each candidate 2 minutes for closing statements. We'll start with you, Mr. Murphy.
Mr. Smith, constantly a different thing that's not true. But we don't need to be. You said you were ignored. My goal, if I'm elected constable, number one, is have an open door policy. That means you can come anytime you get ready. Anytime you get ready. You don't have to call. The problem that you have, bring it to me. I'm gonna make sure my office takes care of it. It don't matter how big or small the problem is, we're gonna take care of it. The thing about it is, and I'm sorry, I just remember what he said just really kind of, because it's all a lie. But anyway, and like I said, if I'm not in the office, if I'm busy, like you say, you leave your number or your phone or your address, I'm gonna make sure that I get back with you, because I'm gonna spend most of my time in the office, not on the extra job in Harris County. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bay.
I intend to raise the quality protection for persons and property as high as I am able to do with the resources I will have. I will be available, and I will understand and make others understand that you can delegate authority, but you can't delegate responsibility. The check goes to you.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
You're right, the check does go to me. And that's why the people in Precinct 3 elected me. And after 3 years, we have made change, and we want to continue to make those changes. Let me just share this real quick. The salary at Precinct 3 is $47,000 a year. Mr. Duke, when he took office and he got beat by me, Mr. Duke had an opportunity to go to a hearing. Everybody else got an $8,000 raise, but I for that first year I was in office, I did not get that raise because Mr. Duke refused to go to the hearing. That's how much Mr. Duke cared about Precinct 3. When he left office, he did not leave the office in good working condition. He took all the files, put them in a box, and one of his officers eventually, after 2 months, showed me where those files was. But that's irrelevant. Even if I lose this race, the office is going to be in better standing than it was prior to Mr. Duke. The office is going to have more police cars than it did prior to Mr. Duke. The office is going to have better computer system than Mr. Duke with the old computer system that was in there 10 or 15 years. I refused to work under those kind of conditions, and I went to commissioner court, and I fought for better working conditions. I fought for better office condition, and we made those things happen. We're in better condition than we ever been in Precinct 3, and we want to continue to move forward, and I'm asking you for 4 more years to complete this task so I can continue to raise the standard and strengthen the conviction. Once again, Herschel Smith, Precinct 3, I need your vote.
Thank you. And thank you to the 3 candidates for coming through. While they're leaving the stage, we'll ask the candidate for sheriff to come up. And I want to stop right now and thank all Chair, Ms. Rosa Harris, Mr. Ben Tibbs, and we will start out by allowing each individual candidate to give an opening statement. 2 minutes, please. Ms. Harris.
Good morning, and thank all of you for taking part of your Saturday to come over here and be with us. And I'm very appreciative of Dr. Ray Paris for putting this forum together and in this beautiful building at the historical campus of Prairie View A&M. I have lived in Waller County for about 38 years. About the time that we moved out there in the country, this Anglo man with twinkling blue eyes came knocking on my door way out in the country. He says, we are starting a Democratic club, and I'm looking for Democrats. And of course, I just stood up and stood up tall and said, I'm a Democrat, you can count me in. And so that's how I started getting involved with the Democrats and the Democratic Club in Waller County. I love being a Democrat. I'm proud to be a Democrat. And I have been one all my life. I like to say that when I was born, after I was baptized Catholic, my father took me and baptized me a Democrat. So I grew up in a small southwest Texas town, very similar to Waller and Hempstead. Oh, I'm running out of time. Here we go. Why am I running for Democratic County Chair? I am dismayed at the lack of party leadership in Waller County. It's been that way for 8 years. Our party is on a downward spiral. Our wonderful President Barack Obama has done wonders in the nation for the Democrats. And here in Waller County, we continue to capitulate to the Republicans. This must end. What do I bring to the job? Experience, knowledge, dedication, hard work, loads and loads of training, and a lifetime of believing in the principles, the platform of my party. Equality for all.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Mr. Tibbs, please.
Thank you. I want to thank you, Dr. Paris, Judge Jackson, and everyone responsible for this occasion today. It's important that the voters are well informed about the candidates that they'll be voting for. so I thank you. I too am a lifelong Democrat, born and raised a Democrat. My dad had me out knocking on doors back in 1960 when President John F. Kennedy ran, and I've supported Democrats ever since. I moved to Waller County in 1989. I am your current Democratic chair. I'm councilman also for Hempstead in my 4th term. I'm the vice president of economic development in Hempstead. I was elected 3 times the president of the Waller County Democratic Club. And during that time, we had 2 very successful banquets, and we were able to raise enough money to give support financially to our candidates. I'm a member also of the Focus and Families Board of Directors, and that is a very important organization that represents all of Waller County and 5 counties in this area. And we help a lot of women and children, battered women and children, and it's very important for Waller County. I am also a pastor. I'm the pastor of the Bremond United Methodist Church, the Grace United Methodist Church in Bremond, and the Sneed Memorial United Methodist Church in Calvert, Texas. I will continue to speak out for the students, as I have done ever since I lived in Waller County. It's been a privilege to be your chair. I look forward to serving you for another term. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Harris, what are your views on how to improve voter registration and participation?
Well, I think a very good example of what we did this year is have a big drive at the university, and I believe that every place, like we should be setting up at every place where there's a lot of traffic, where there's like Walmart and stuff like that. I just think we need to register all the time, not just during elections, but be on a continuous registering voters.
Thank you. Mr. Tibbs, what are your views on how to improve voter registration and participation?
We do need to be out registering as often as we can in as many places as we can. We need a lot of deputy registrars to be deputized and to go forward and to unite to get everybody in Waller County registered to vote. And not only do we need to do that, but we also need to make sure that these people who are registered, that their form is filled out correctly. I was informed by the elections administrator that over 80 student applications have been rejected by the Secretary of State's office. 80 students who will not be able to vote because those applications were not gone over and checked. When you're a deputy registrar, it is your obligation to check over that application, make sure everything on that application is correct. And in those instances, it was not done. There was even registrars who were filling out the application for the student, and they didn't even spell the student's name right. So, of course, that application was thrown out. So we should not only be out registering people, but we should make sure that we're doing it correctly. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll let you do that in
Okay.
close, Ms. Harris. Ms. Harris, what is your plan to educate precinct chairs to run elections more efficiently?
Workshops. They have to attend workshops. The Democratic Party at the state level is constantly having trainings all over the state. I would encourage every one of them to go and get trained. That's the only way we're going to keep up, because laws change all the time, and that's the only way that we're going to be able to keep up with what's new, what's changed. Workshops.
Thank you. Mr. Tibbs, what is your plan to educate precinct chairs to run elections more efficiently?
Well, workshops is very, very important. I have to agree with that. And that is what we should be doing, is making sure that every precinct chair attends workshops not only on the county level, but on the state level also. Because laws do change every year. Every time the legislature meets, they change the laws. And we've got to be up to date on what those laws are so that our precinct chairs will know how to operate in their precinct. We need to train them also to be involved in their precinct, that they run their precinct. And they're involved in candidates, finding candidates. They're involved in finding people to work the election and involved in every aspect of the precinct.
Thank you.
Ms. Harris, why should the voters choose you instead of your opponent?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Why should the voters choose you instead of your opponent?
I have a lot of experience. Ever since I was an adult, I've gone to trainings. I have been a chair before. I was appointed, and I was chair 2006 and 2007. I conducted the largest convention ever, the Democratic convention ever in Waller County successfully. And then we went to the state, and we were very united at the state, something that our county unfortunately is not known to be. So I am very proud of those 2 years that I was the chair. And even if I wasn't the chair, I'm constantly getting trained because I want to know everything. I will be a better candidate. I'll work harder.
Thank you.
And I have time.
Mr. Tibbs, why should the voters choose you instead of your opponent?
Well, I would say to the Prairie View students that I have always been here for you. When I moved here in 1989, we bought a business, Texas Burger, a restaurant. And then we began to look around to who we were going to have help us run that restaurant. And immediately my wife and I decided we would hire not only high school students, but we first of all would find Prairie View A&M students. I know when I was in college, I had to work 3 jobs and still get a loan to pay for my education. So I know students need a place to work. And so we were more than happy to give them a place to work. Also, when I was managing stores for Valero, I always went to Prairie View A&M students first. They were honest, they were dependable, and I always enjoyed and appreciated the students. So you know that I will fight for you. I fought for you and helped win early voting back here on campus. I have the respect of the Commissioner's Court, and they went to me, and I went to the judge and asked him to put it on the agenda, that we could get early voting back on the campus on Prairie View's campus. He did so. He put it on the agenda, and after the second try, it was approved. First time it was tabled, but we didn't give up there. I went back and asked for it to be put on the agenda, and he did it again. Now, yes, I hear a laughter over here. I know that the first time when we talked about voting places, I went along with the crowd and thought, well, let's make it simple. Well, when that was voted, the people told me in Precinct 3 and Precinct 2 that they didn't like that. And the way I am about government is the people don't like it, then I don't like it because I represent the people. So immediately I went back to the judge, asked to reconsider that, and we went back to the original idea of having the precincts early voting in every precinct. So yeah, I made a mistake, but who doesn't make a mistake? I think that when you make a mistake, what really matters is how you correct it. The commissioners respect me. They listened to me. They put it back on the agenda, and we got it right, and we got voting back here on Prairie View A&M campus. I did that along with others, but I'm the one that went to the judge and asked him to put it on the agenda. And I was the first to rise to my feet and rose several times.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Harris, what will you do specifically to increase voter education?
We are currently doing a lot of, well, actually, we're not doing very much right now, to tell you the truth. But what I would do is I would advertise more. I would make the Democrat sign more visible. I would encourage everybody to put a bumper sticker that says you're a Texas Democrat. I would make our visibility more. I had the only headquarters open year-round during election year. Where is the headquarters today? We do not have a headquarters. We're invisible in Waller County. We don't have a headquarters. So I would definitely make us more visible.
Mr. Tibbs, the same question. What will you do specifically to increase voter education? Thank you.
I believe in being with the people, and when you're with the people, talking to them, to be encouraging. I'm in churches, I'm in businesses, I'm in homes, all across Waller County. And every time we get together, we talk about ways that we can improve the Democrats and bring the Democrats out. Another thing that we need to do in Waller County, and this is affirmed by our state chair, Chairman Hinojosa, that we need to reach out to the Hispanics in this county. If we can get the Hispanics registered and get them out to vote, we can turn Waller County blue again. But we've got to get out and get knocking on those doors and let them know that we need them and that we're the party that they should be involved in. It's very important. It's more important to do that than have an open year-round party headquarters. In 2014, we had a great party headquarters. People could see it all over Hempstead. And when we had our two festivals downtown Hempstead in July and August, we got many, many comments, people coming into town and seeing our banners because we were so centrally located. We did that after the primaries. We got it started and ran through the November election. We did have a primary. We were visible. We did have a place. But I thought it was more important that we be out with the people. My opponent talks about being the chair of the party in 2006 and 2007. What did she do to get the early voting back on campus? We didn't hear a word from her about early voting on the campus. I've already showed you that I can get the job done. I'm a man of action. Thank you.
Ms. Harris, what have you done in the past that prepares you for this position?
I have gone to 6-7 trainings this past year. I went to Benton, I went to Needville, I went to Corpus Christi. These were all, I went to Austin 3 times, and these are all conferences and workshops put by the state party. I attended a state chair conference that was put on by the Secretary of State. So I'm constantly training and looking and searching to get more information about what's going on.
Thank you. Mr. Tibbs, what have you done in the past that prepares you for this position?
I too have gone to workshops. I've gone to county chair state meetings. I've gone to 4 of those. And I'm also at one of them the day before we were at the Secretary of State's training for county chairs. So that is important that we attend those committee meetings. But it's also important to be with the people. And I think that I will continue to meet with the people. I'll continue to speak out on the campus here of Texas, of Prairie View A&M University. Professors are constantly asking me to come and speak in their classes, and I'm more than happy to do so. I encourage the students. Mr. Easy told me when I asked him why he was running for commissioner, he said that he was inspired by one of the messages I brought on campus, encouraging Prairie View A&M students to get out and vote, to vote in block. You have 5,000 votes on this campus, approximately. That's a big block. And if you ever come together and you wake up this sleeping giant, you can hold any office in Waller County.
Ms. Harris, of those 5,000 votes that we have on this campus, how many individuals voted in the past election?
I don't know the exact number, but it was extremely low. And it's usually extremely low. It's really heartbreaking. A lot of them moved. They're on the list, but they moved, and so the list may not be very current. But yeah, it's very sad to see that so few other students participate. And I know that they live very busy lives, but this is one thing that is part of being a grown-up voter. And I'm hoping that the numbers will increase little by little.
Thank you. Mr. Tibbs, same question.
Don't hold me to this, but I'm thinking off the top of my head, I believe there was 593 votes at the last 2014 election here on campus. And that's 10% maybe of the vote. And so, you're right, we've got to do more to wake up this sleeping giant. That's what I call Prairie View. We need to wake them up and realize what they can do. I saw it happen in College Station when I was managing stores up there. I saw the student body come together and they began to elect councilmen. They began to elect other elected officials. And Prairie View A&M can do the same thing. But you've got to unite behind a candidate and get out and support that candidate and go vote. Your vote is your voice. If you don't vote, you don't have a voice. You need to have a strong voice in Waller County.
Thank you. At this time, we will ask each candidate to give a closing statement, and we will allow, because we don't have as many candidates in this race as we do in some of the others, we're going to allow each of you 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. I answered the question to the last election, which was the propositions, not to the 14. And I would like to say that there is an executive committee that is part of the chair. The executive committee represents every precinct in this county. And the decisions made by the chair are not strictly made, or should not be made by the chair alone. The chair convenes with the executive committee, and anything that comes up, they vote on it, they put their input in it, they work towards that goal. And what happened here is that the chair is not consulting the executive committee. That's why the chair went before Commissioner's Court and asked early voting to be in only 2 boxes in the whole county. He wanted to have early voting in 2 boxes. So of course we were upset. We got them to change it. It took about 3 sessions from the beginning to end because Prairie View University was not being allowed a voting box. They said, yeah, we can have it at St. Francis or we can have it at the bowling alley, but they did not want to have it in the MSC. And who fought the hardest? Your commissioner. He argued about it and argued about it. He did not want the students to vote at the university. And so with the hard work of Dr. Maddox and other Democrats, we managed to get that passed so that you do have early voting in Prairie View at the MSC. Yes. The chair is not a kingdom, it's a committee. And that's what needs to happen. Every decision needs to be made by the committee, which we have been excluded. I'm part of that committee. And I wanted to tell you, when I was the chair, I met with the government students, I met with the young Democrats, and we did a lot of things together. I was very familiar with them. As a matter of fact, I went and picketed with them one time. So, including the students and the student government, the young Democrats, is very important. And I believe in that, and I really don't see that connection right now. But that is a goal that we need to work for. Whether I become chair or not, I will continue to be a strong Democrat. I will work for the Democratic Party, title or not.
Thank you. Mr. Tibbs, you get the last word.
Thank you. I don't get that too often. I will fight for you. I can promise you that I've fought for Prairie View ever since I lived here, 27 years. I believe in the campus. I believe in the students, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I will also fight for the citizens of Waller County. I don't care if there's just one person out there who feels they're disenfranchised. I promise you, I will take that to the commissioners and I will get it resolved. Because we should never, ever, ever disenfranchise anyone who wants to vote. Everybody, it's your constitutional right. Every person has the right to vote. And I will always stand for you, and I will make sure that that happens always. I want to continue to be your county chair. I see some things beginning to change in Waller County. And I see that we're right on the verge of beginning to get more competitive in Waller County. Now we've got to get candidates. And candidates are hard to get. And it's not just the chair's responsibility. The precinct chairs are also responsible to check their precincts and find out if there's somebody willing to run. Everybody I tried to get run, except for Precinct 3, and I'm thankful for Precinct 3, but other precincts, they say we don't have a chance to win. So they've already got a defeatist attitude. So we've got to turn that around. And we've got to show people we can win. We're not a red county. What we are is a non-voting county. If we were to turn out and vote, we would be a blue county. I promise you that. And I will work hard for that. I will work harder than I have in the past to make sure that every corner is turned. Every door is knocked on. Every person we can get out to vote, that we will get out and vote. And I, too, am a Democrat. And if I lose this race, I'll still be a Democrat. I don't care what they say about me out there. I will be a Democrat. And I will work for the Democrats, always. I appreciate so much our Justice of the Peace in Precinct 3. Judge Jackson, you do so much for Precinct 3. And anybody who needs your help, they don't have to be in Precinct 3. You're there for them. And I appreciate that. And that's the kind of candidates I want to find in all the precincts. And they're out there. We just have to change that defeatist attitude and show them that we can do this. We can do this. And let's knock on some doors. And let's let them know that Democrats can win. And when we win, the people win. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. While the candidates depart the stage, these are the candidates for Waller County Democratic Chair, Ms. Rosa Harris, Mr. Ben Tibbs. Thank you so much. We will ask the candidates in the Constable Precinct 3 race to come up, and how we're doing. Yes, we're very close to that. We're doing well on that. Thank you. Right now, we have our candidate in the race for Sheriff of Waller County, Lieutenant Cedric Watson. And Lieutenant Watson, we will allow you 3 minutes for an opening statement.
3 minutes?
Right. That's why you get 3 minutes.
Thank you. I want to thank those that invited me here, the committee that put these forms together. It's a good thing to hear the voices of those within your county, within your precinct, and know where their hearts are. You can say a lot of things, we can do a lot of things, but actions do speak louder than words. I'm a lieutenant with the Precinct 3 Constable's Office. We are out there often in your neighborhoods. I am running for sheriff because I do see a need for a change, a positive change. Not just here in Precinct 3, but in the other 3 precincts as well. Okay? I want to bring the policing back to where it used to be. From the past, officers had a care. Right now, you see it to where not too many of them care about too much of anything but themselves. Okay? It's not about money, it's about protecting the people. That's what I got into this profession for, to protect the people.
Thank you, Lieutenant Watson. How do you view the distinction between the law enforcement function and the detention function?
The law enforcement function, I view it as being out on the street, pretty much showing your presence to prevent that detention function. If we're out there vividly, and always doing what we as police officers do, enforce, protect, and at times counsel, there will be less of a detention for an individual. The detention phase, there are a lot of problems within it. There are no standards being looked at as it should be, per se, on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Got to be monitored constantly. One of my objectives would be to make sure it's monitored constantly. I don't want to run a jail to where a prisoner, or per se, an inmate comes in and has to wonder if they're going to walk out the next day.
Thank you.
Mr. Watson, what have you done in the past that prepares you for this position?
I've been to 2 police academies. Like I said, I have 17 years in this profession. I've worked with EPS. I've been through their academy, one of the best academies an individual can go through. A lot of training. I have my Master Peace Officer's certification. I have an associate degree in criminal justice. And I constantly train physically, mentally, to stay up on my game as a police officer.
Thank you.
Lieutenant Watson, would you describe particularly some things that you would do if you were elected to develop better relationships between the Sheriff's Department and the citizens of Waller County?
In Waller County, I do see that there is a constructive, or should I say a construction fault. There is a great fault between the law enforcement and the community. There is a bridge that needs to be gapped. There is a bridge that needs to be, per se, we can't brought together, the bridge and that gap, okay? I see to where, as sheriff, I will allow anyone, and I do mean anyone, come to my door, knock on it, and we'll sit down and discuss whatever the problem is. And anyone, meaning from a deputy, a dispatcher, a citizen that I've met on the road, or a citizen passing through Waller County. We, as police officers, need to hear what's going on within our community and bring it back to our heads, bring it back to our supervisory staff. Let them know, hey, look, this is what needs to be done in this area of town. I've spoken with Mr. Johnson, and he says that on a constant, this is what's going on in his neighborhood. I want to be able to speak with Mr. Johnson, and with Mr. Johnson, we come up with a plan to bring about ceasing of the problem that he's having. I want to make sure that everyone within Waller County, whether young or old, have a peace of mind when they step out of their front door, walk down their streets, if there aren't any sidewalks within the county, but walk down their streets and be safe, okay? Now, knowing that when they return back to their home, that their home is standing as it was when they left.
Thank you.
Mr. Watson, what is your general philosophy on law enforcement?
My general philosophy on law enforcement is ethics. Ethics is number one. Allowing people to be people. Allowing a job to be done that is supposed to be done in a righteous manner, in a righteous order. God did not allow us to be individuals, per se, of self. If he wanted us to be individuals just of self, he would have put us here alone. But there's a group of us. We have to come together as a common soul. We have to come together as a common whole. We have to put our heads together and do things that need to be done right. If we don't bring together ourselves as unity, if we don't come together in unity, things that we see on a daily basis will continue. And I, for one, wanting to be the sheriff of Waller County, want to end that. like I say, I want to bring policing back from the past that it once was and bring it to, so we have a lot of new, what do you call it, the internet and all the social media, you know, we get a lot of negativity on that. You know, once you didn't have all of this. Police officers would get out there and do their job. Is it mainstream social media that came to our heads and we see, okay, well, I can be noticed for doing this, but we go out and do something stupid? Is it mainstream social media that allows us to go out and make a bad name for ourselves? No. In the past, we had the good names. We had names that when you heard police were coming, you got a cheer, a hooray. Now you hear that the police are coming, it's like run stuff. So, no. Being ethical in what I do, it will go across the board with every deputy within my agency. That's one philosophy. Another would be to protect. You know, we haven't moved away from, as they say, a chivalry there, but we have slowed back from it. Our officers, not my officers yet, I've seen two people, but my officers will see a problem and they will act on that problem. I do not want any officer to drive down 290, I-10, and see that there's a stranded motorist and pass that motorist up, but yet, in turn, we'll see a speeding vehicle and go after that vehicle. If you're going to enforce, we're going to enforce everything. We're not going to be different about what's done on the street. We're going to be across the board and do it whole.
Thank you.
Lieutenant Watson, would you identify some of the law enforcement challenges in the county?
Unity. Number one, unity. That goes from police officer to citizen, from one agency to another agency. There is a big gap in unity. You will see an officer on a traffic stop, and you'll have another officer that will just roll past that officer without even checking on him. Well, how do you know there's nothing wrong if you don't check on that officer? Unity will be a common goal with my agency. Unity, like again, as I said, with having my door open to anyone. Come in, express your views to me. Let me know what it is you want to see done. Having other officers from other agencies come in and speak with me, or I go and speak with them to find out what it is that needs to be done within Waller County. Unity.
Thank you.
What do you propose to address that challenge?
What do I propose to address that challenge?
Yes.
Unity?
Yes.
Bringing about a forum as such. You know, allowing other agencies to come together. We speak about what needs to be done within the community. This will allow officers who do have problems, per se, with individuals of color. You know, this needs to cease. You know, all because you wear a badge and a gun doesn't make you the keeper of the next individual. You know, we have to come together and bring about the differences and hear about the differences of what's going on within the community. If we don't hear about the differences, we're not going to know what's happening. So bringing about a forum, bringing about agencies, the citizens, the community together to hear what's going on. Not an argument, but setting a standard to know what's going on, putting it on paper, and going forth.
How would you interact with other law enforcement agencies? And how's that?
Very with her, laugh with her, hang out with her. When the time comes to take off, I'll say the uniform, hey, we chill. We be who we are. We be people. Go about and discuss, hey, how was your day? What was going on with you, in that situation? But let's talk about how next time that situation happens, what we can do to change it all, Just going about and bringing about, togetherness with one another. If you don't hear or know what's going on with that individual, you're oblivious to what their life is about.
All right. Thank you, Lieutenant Watson, and we will give you 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Wanted to be sure, I look at this as my steps are ordered by God. I was sitting at home one day. I was sitting at home one day, and I got a voice that came to me. It was a vivid as day. You need to be sure. I ignored that voice. Went on about my daily routine. 2 days later, I was at the house. I heard the voice again. Same tone, didn't change the pitch. You need to be sure. Sat there for a few seconds. You know what? I'm running for sure. Called a couple of people. Told them about what I heard. They were like, that's good, do it. Called my constable. I said, hey, what's what, constable? I'm run for sheriff. Man, I was just about to call you. Tell you to do that. Hey, that's God. So, I'm here. I'm doing something that I haven't thought I would be doing. I didn't run for no office when I was in high school. The only thing I ran for was running from a bullet or running to a fight. So, hey, I'm here. I'm here to be a transparent, a sheriff. Like I said, I'm not, it doesn't matter about race, your gender, your ethnicity. What it's about is your life. What it's about, me as sheriff, getting my department under one accord. My steps ordered by God, and they shall continue. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll help the candidates with the mic, we'll assist them, and I'll assist the audience on this side. So if you have a question, please come down, indicate the candidate who you are directing.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Giamma. I am a senior chemical engineering major, graduated in May. And I have a couple questions to, I believe his name was Brian, and he's Mr. Rowan. All right, cool. So my understanding is that
He's right here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This question is directed to you, Mr. Rowland. Okay.
All right. So my understanding is that Prairie View is a big part of the Precinct 3. So as a student, what specific plan do you have to meet the needs of fellow students? Yes, you and how many both of our students here?
You directing the question, Mr. Rowland?
And
Okay, Mr. Rowland and Mr. Easy. Mr. Rowland.
Repeat? Okay. My understanding is that Prairie View is a big part of Precinct 3. So as a student, what specific plan do you have to meet the needs of fellow students?
One, engaging them on the issues that are important to them. First, being voting here on the MSC's campus, which I said I've started and been working on it for the past 10 years. 2 is making sure the voice is being heard in reference to county politics, engaging in having conversations with not only the SGA, but the student body. Again, in Precinct 3, you have a few county roads. County commission, I can't make a promise. County commissioners is about road and bridges. Being an engaged county commissioner, you're engaged with the people in the county to bring their issues forward. But to think that they're going to be a policymaker for students only, but that's not how it works. Now, it's about having a relationship and being able to understand, how do I help you leverage Prairie View A&M University's resources, manpower, and people power to make Waller County the greatest place on earth, right? So we have Prairie View A&M University, #1 employer, #1 dollar spent in the county. The question is, how do we get Waller County to see Prairie View A&M University, Precinct 3, as the diamond in the rough? And that's where we are. Can you repeat the question?
All right, so Prairie View is a big part of Precinct 3. So as a student, what specific plan do you have to meet the needs of fellow students?
So I guess the question is, how do we get students involved in county government and all around? So using the organizations on campus that we have access to is the biggest way, getting students involved in the organizations to branch out to other students. That's how we get students involved in what's happening in our county government today. Right now, Waller County doesn't see Prairie View A&M University as a threat. It doesn't see it as a substantial part of this county, which we need to get engaged and begin to let them see what we can do, how we need to get students voting and different things like that. So creating that atmosphere to where students will be like, hey, I want to go vote. Hey, I want to go do this. I want to go to city council meetings. I want to go to commissioner's court and see what's going on. We need to use organizations, SGA, Brother to Brother, Black, different organizations, big organizations on campus, small organizations on campus to get students engaged, talking about it, make it a thing, make it a way of how we live on this campus. So that's really the way I would say we should go about it.
Thank you. I have another question. I'm sorry.
Mr. Rowland would like to address your question for 30 more seconds. Is that okay?
Oh.
Not only as a doctoral student here on this campus, again, started Black and Brown Brothers, a multi-level mentoring program here on this campus, but also as a city councilman, I work with Mr. Easy not only as a student. I think he wrote one of his final papers on running for office and engaging in politics. And so there's no love lost between me and Easy. We have a working relationship, and so I wish him well. But again, I've engaged with many students on this campus, specifically one of the candidates running.
Thank you. So my next question is directed to you, Brian. Again, I'm sorry. So you're listing a bunch of your previous experiences, and one of them was something about the fire department. And a few months ago, I heard that the fire trucks itself, the ladders didn't go up to more than 2 or 3 floors. So has that changed? What have y'all done? Because I mean, we have a 5-story library. If there is a fire.
So currently, I don't speak for the fire department. I'm on the board and a member. As the Prairie View Fire Department does not have a ladder truck, Waller County ESD 200 has a ladder truck. And as a volunteer firefighter with the Prairie View Department, there's several departments that mutual aid. So if a fire was to break out at the library, we do have mutual aid agreements with other departments. But again, many people can come out. We meet every Wednesday at 6:30 at the Prairie View Volunteer Fire Department. We're going to be celebrating a great milestone this coming September, so come out and support us. Again, your fire department and your police department, but your fire department in this community, which is a volunteer fire organization, are the warriors in the community. We again not only check on citizens, but we're there for fire protection again. And so again, many students who are actually members of the fire department. So again, please come out and join.
Thank you. That's all my questions.
Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you. I had a question for Harris and Tibbs. Is Tibbs here? Okay, during your discussion, you talked a lot about ways to engage or increase the voter participation, especially among students. And I kind of got the impression from the comments that were made by both of you all that there was this lack of enthusiasm and interest on the part of students as far as being involved with voting. But during your conversations up here, I never once heard either of you talk about the most vital component of a young person's life. And that's this. As you notice, every young person here, including the young lady that just sat down, she had a phone in her hand up here asking questions. They live, breathe, and have their being with these things. Social media is one of the most critical elements that young people engage in today. I mean, they go to sleep with this, if they go to sleep. So, I didn't hear either one of you mention the fact that you intend to initiate a social media campaign. And as far as getting students involved, I would even say a co-chairman, being a person under 21 that's a student, that would show or lead the way in implementing a social media campaign, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I don't even know the ones that they use now. I just know the ones that 15-year-old grandson did. But there's this gap.
Absolutely.
And I don't think the gap is the fact that the students are not interested or engaged. I think the gap results from the way we communicate using, as you all said, signs and banners and door-to-door. Those things are good, but they don't have the impact on the mind of a student to make them act as social media does. So my question is, are you intentionally leaving that big chunk of a plan out? Is it overlooked? Or do you plan on engaging students through some form of social media? And then I have a follow-up question for the sheriff.
Okay. When I was the chair in 2006 and 2007, the way that we communicated was email. And so I made sure that everybody, and I got as many contacts as possible, and I would contact through email. But of course now everything has changed. I understand that Facebook is for older people. I'm on Facebook. And so I contacted a student who was going to hook me up with Twitter and the other media, because I know it's so important. And you're right. It's like everywhere you see, even at dinner tables, you see that they're communicating, and it's so fast. And we did have a little kind of experiment when we did our registration, and we had a party afterwards, and we learned after the fact that if we would have let somebody know, it would have been a lot more successful. And so we want to go forward, absolutely, and we want to include as many people as possible. And so I'm ready to learn, and I've already put out feelers for people to come teach me, because I want to be a part of it. And that's the only way to communicate these days. And I do want to say that the executive committee has a precinct chair for every precinct. This precinct has one, but it's not a student. And I would like to have a representative from the college to be a precinct chair so that they can be a liaison between us and participate more. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, but let me just say this, and I mean this in all sincerity. Sometimes you can't, what I found, well, just for me, what I found when I'm dealing with young people, I can't wait for them to come to me and teach me stuff. I go stick myself with them and just watch them and observe them and begin to ask questions. So I take the initiative to learn from them, because that's just where they are. And it's not coming back. It's not coming back to the way that we communicated. It's gone.
Right, we have to get with the program, absolutely. And I have contacted, like I said, several people, and they are communicating with me to try to get that. Because, like you say, nobody's going to come up to you and say, hey, do you want to learn how to do Twitter or anything like that? So yes, I have taken that step. It's a very necessary step. Thank you very much.
Okay, and
thank you. I wanted to say just a little bit about the balloting and the registration. we were given the impression that 80 of the registered voters are not any good. Well, Dan T., the administrator, said that he is working on those applications to make them correct. And there is no law saying that you cannot fill out an application for somebody as long as they sign it. So I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Your next question.
Was for the sheriff candidate. I just wanted to know, and I love law enforcement. Let me say this to the councilors. I live on the main street, and I just love it when I'm riding my bicycle and I see the constable or the police. They just protect us and keep everything safe, and I love that. But what I wanted to ask you this question. You say that you have a good working relationship with other members of law enforcement in the area.
Yes.
Does that mean that you all share information, like if one student or person gets in trouble with you and gives you a hard time, that when y'all are sitting around, stop looking at me like that. Y'all chat, do y'all say, well, he's a bad character, and do y'all do that? Y'all don't do that, do you?
Well, to say if that individual is a bad character or whatever the case may be, that's everyday talk for everybody.
Oh, so y'all do that. I was hoping y'all.
But the thing is, we don't point out individuals and say, hey, when you get to that person, do this or do that. No. I mean, if we make an arrest, we make an arrest for a reason, okay? The purpose of us getting a call to a location, there's something that's going on. If we get a call to another location, there may not be nothing going on. Not every call that we go on to is an enforcement call. Sometimes you can interact with an individual. Like I said, sometimes we are counselors. Counseling, whether some people know it or not, can be the best medicine for that individual to get them to walk that line, that straight line that they need to walk. I've had individuals come up to me many a times and say, hey, thank you for not arresting me. That's just my character. I can't speak for everybody else, but that's my character.
So if one clowns with you, that's...
If they clown with me,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Thank you for the question. Okay, next question.
We also have a question over here after this question.
Okay.
Good morning. The only thing that I wanted to say, I listened to you all very carefully, and I heard you saying about going to the this community, that community. I'm not saying anything because I'm not biased at all. But when you go there and ask them for a vote, you got to carry something there to them. I'm a former ESL teacher, and I know you have to explain to them what you are running, what you're going to do for them. You just can't go there and say, I want your vote, I want your vote, I want your vote. And this young man, I've never seen him before, but you brought out some valid points. I like that. But anyway, you got to carry something. Don't just take a bunch of brochures and throw them on the porch and mess up their porch and stuff. Talk to them. See what they want. And see what you can do to help them. Then you might get their vote. Don't come to my house and say, here, Dorothy, because I would close the door.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. First, I'd like to commend the College Juvenile Justice for having the wherewithal to have this type of platform, and I encourage the college to continue in that path. Also, I'm thankful that I live in a country where my voice can be heard. My question is directed to my commissioner, Jerron Barnett. Commissioner, you sat here on the platform and told us how you fought for early voting on the campus, and we know we have film to say to the contrary. I go to Commissioner's Court on a weekly basis, and I was in Commissioner's Court when Judge Trey Duhon asked you, were you okay with not having early voting in Precinct 3? And your answer was, you're okay with that. And that's just not something that was said. They do stream that live. You can go pull that information up, and you can hear the commissioner tell the judge that he was okay with not having early voting on the campus of Prairie View A&M University. And I just want you to kind of address that. I also made, when I first heard that was the case, I made 2 phone calls. I called my Democratic chair, Ben Tibbs, who answered the phone and responded to the question. I also called my commissioner. To this date, has still not called me back. And he sat here and said that he's available 24/7 and did not, I'm still waiting for that phone call. And I did not receive that phone call. So, Commissioner, if you can, please address that issue.
Be glad to. Number one, on that day, as far as the voting, early voting on campus, your precinct chairs came to us, which is the Commissioner's Court, and they came to us with a proposal on having early voting. That proposal was for 2 spots, one at the church. No, one in Brookshire, I'm sorry, because we went through this about 5 different times before we finally came up with the right thing. One was for a location in Brookshire and a location in Hempstead. The question was asked, if the precinct chairs had gotten with their constituency, you all go to your precinct chairs, and your precinct chairs decide where they would like these different areas to be as far as the voting polls. And your precinct chairs were in agreement. They told us, the Commissioner's Court, and by the way, there's 4 commissioners and not 1. Okay? They told...
There's only 1 in Precinct 3.
There's only 1 in Precinct 3, and the 1 in Precinct 3 is trying to tell you what happened. They told us that your precinct chair said that was okay with what they were doing. So if your precinct chair come to us, and this was a general consensus, ladies and gentlemen, with all commissioners and the county judge at the end of the day, that the precinct chairs came to us with that request. So we honor what the precinct chairs wanted within that request. Your precinct chairs represent you. They're the ones that you go to and let them know what you would like to see done in your precinct or not see done in your precinct. Ladies and gentlemen, when I came into this office, January 1st, 2013, I came into this office and immediately began to work on voting being placed back on this campus. By September, the voting was back on this campus. I did not vote against early voting coming on this campus. That would be totally ludicrous. But what I did, there were citizens within the community, within the precinct. Precinct 3 is not just the city of Prairie View and the Prairie View A&M University. Precinct 3 stretches all the way down right before you get to Katy, to Harris County, all the way over to the river bridge at the Brazos River. So you have other people calling and voicing their concerns about the accessibility of having early voting in the MSC. But early voting, ladies and gentlemen, was going to be on this campus regardless. And if you go back and look at that, what Mr. Mosley is talking about, you would see that I said that one way or the other, early voting would be restored back to the campus of Prairie View.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We'll have to take another question now, and I believe you had one over here. Okay. What? Okay. We got 2 over.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Preston. I'm a senior at Texas Southern University, and my question is for the constables candidates. Being a dual resident of Waller County and Harris County, my question to you are, what are the main goals that you have to advance your agency in Precinct 3 as the constable?
And is that addressed to each one of the constables?
Right.
All right. Each candidate. Right.
First, we have Mr. Smith.
First of all, thank you. When I took office, like I said, I think we had about 6 deputies that previous had been rolling around in town. We do not have anybody full-time. I've been fighting for full-time agency, a full-time officer. A full-time officer would enhance what we do, you know. And on top of that, The constable's office, $47,000. If you look at the constables, that the way they get paid, that is considered, according to legislated law, we're supposed to be around the same salary around the sheriff. Waller County, the way they do the budget, all the money that we have that's productive, all of it goes into the general budget. And then they decide to carve the pie, they say, equally. They decide who's going to get a new car this year, who's not going to get a new car. No matter how much money we brought in as an agency, it never changes. So I'm fighting with the auditor's office right now, trying to make sure that even the tickets and everything that we write supposed to be a part of that goes into the constable's fund. They have not done that as of yet. They still have not done it. They don't want to change the rules. The way the rules go up for other counties and other agencies, they can grow. But the way it's set up, all the money goes into the sheriff's budget when it comes down to law enforcement. The sheriff has the biggest part of that budget. And when it comes down to radios, equipment, mics, record, we don't get a part of that budget. We have to go and fight for it. If we don't go and say, hey, look, what about our recorded mics? Because right now the legislature has already made it mandated that every law enforcement have a recorded mic. Those things are like $2,500 when you start looking at a good mic system. The radios are $2,500. My budget when it come down to equipment is $2,500. I mean, at the end of the day, what can I do? That's the reason why we went outside looking for private donations so that we can grow the agency. We are writing grants. We are the first ones to start writing grants. So we are writing grants. But when I write grant, the rules change. I got to go before a grant committee. And then the committee is not even put together. So those are some of the things we have to work out and to fight through to make those things happen. So
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Bay, would you like to address that?
Yes, as you stated, the funding is coming from other sources that I don't think have ever really been in touch with the needs of the constable's office. But if you have to do with what you have, then you have to reach out to get help from as many places as you can. My personal feeling is the greatest resource is the campus. And I would reach out continually to find those talented students and professors, etc., that can contribute to the things that would make the constable's office more productive or effective.
Thank you. Mr. Murphy? Okay, all right. I think we had another question on this side, did we, Ms. Preston?
When you were talking about the precinct chairs, I think you must have been talking about the county chairs.
Yes, yes, exactly. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Attorney Harris, for doing such an outstanding job in allowing this forum to take place here. Okay, the question I have in mind is not directed to any particular person. However, it is directed to the 4 commissioners who are running for re-election or first-time election, and also Lieutenant Cedric Watson. You are beautiful speakers, and you said some wonderful things for the citizens and community, which involves all the people, so to speak. But I am a strong advocate for children. I wanted to hear someone please mention the children. I'm speaking of elementary, especially, and middle school children who need some guidance, and who best in that position to reach out to these very young kids. I would like to see them have the opportunity to aspire to be where you are today. I would have loved to hear what you would like to do for these very young, innocent children. I want them to have every opportunity possible to reach their full maximum potential. One person did mention having a beautiful jail, and I kind of fret yes on that. That's good, we need better, but I want to see those kids not even get there. So I wanted to hear that. What are you going to do to help these beautiful flowers? I didn't hear that. And to me, that was a missed opportunity. And also, I frown on it. I really do. I frown on it. I wanted you to say something about these children. So I don't expect an answer. But I do expect for you to focus on these children. Thank you.
Would either of the candidates like to address that?
I will. Thank you, Ms. Maddox. One thing that has been done and continue to be done is the county is working with a communities that care. Okay, Communities That Care is a database program that Dr. Sam Iguawa has formulated and started right here on the campus of Prairie View A&M University. And one thing we are doing, we're looking at that program and looking at that statistical data to see where we can best serve for that. But on top of that, I think one of the most important things that we can do as a candidate and just a person concerned about the community is to get involved in the community, get involved with the kids and see where we can best serve. Today we have a lot of things that's going on, and our youth are absorbing that like a sponge. So I think by us being active and being out there and doing those things that can draw those kids in. One thing that I have found very effective, especially around here, and I didn't know it until, was our Prairie View has an excellent 4-H program. Our schools have excellent FFA program. Those programs, especially for minority students, there's opportunities as far as scholarships, there's opportunities as far as leadership and responsibility. We have to get involved in those things. We can't look at those things as though those are for somebody else or those of us that just wear the cowboy hat. Those are very, very good programs to get our children involved in. So we have to just be at the base, start at the base, Ms. Maddox, and continue to work there. And it's a work in progress.
Thank you. Mr. Rowland.
I'm glad you brought up those points, and not to harp on it. There's some people who actually continue to work in the community. On this campus, again, we talked about Black and Brown Brother, which is a multi-leveling mentoring program. That's where professors mentor graduate students mentor undergraduate students, and undergraduate students mentor K through 12 students. Not only that, but being one of the founders, but also currently assistant scoutmaster. We have a Boy Scout troop in this community that's been around for the last 4 years. We have 7 young men who are transitioning their way through the Scouts. Again, this is not what we talk about. This is what we're currently doing. Again, if anybody wants to come out and support, we're on the first and third Wednesday at the Prairie View City Hall. I'm not talking about what I'm just going to talk about how I continue to do the things I'm currently doing. We need more people to get involved, and we'd like to take it to another level. But again, there's some people who are currently working in the community with young men who are in elementary and middle school, who are transitioning to work with young men and women in college. So again, thank you.
Thank you. We have another question here. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Marcus Washington. I'm the Executive Vice President for the Student Government Association here at Prairie View A&M University. This question is directed towards Mr. Barnett, I believe Ms. Harris. You two, is it possible or is it not possible to make Prairie View A&M University a permanent voting site or early voting site? And if so, why haven't we made those advancements over these past few years to make sure that we remain here? And Mr. Barnett, I want you to start first since you feel so strongly about it.
As far as a permanent voting site, I can say that is possible. As far as just permanently having voting specific, you talking just specifically for a student body, or?
I mean here on the campus in the MSC, and so we know the early voting that you said we'll be fighting for. You mentioned that
it was going to be without a doubt on campus, and why haven't we made that decision permanent?
Well, that's going to be up to your party chairs also. Okay, when they come to before your commissioners, that's going to be something that they need to request. You know, I see no reason why it shouldn't be, I mean, it's been affiliated or on the campus in one way or the other for a little while now. So, but as far as being permanent, because that is voted on every election cycle. The elections administrator that we have that's over county elections bring those requests to the commissioner's court, and it's up to the commission. It's up to the commissioner's court. Now, if you got 1 saying yes and 4 saying no, then it isn't going to be. But if you have at least three saying yes, then yes. But that's going to be on a base by base situation.
Can you tell me why it's base by base and not a permanent?
That's the way the law is.
Yeah,
that's the way the law is. The law is written to where the commissioners vote on the polling sites.
I think Ms. Harris, thank you, Ms. Barnett. We also wanted you to address that, Ms. Harris.
Yes, the party chairs do assign or they put input as to where the voting boxes are going to be. But I want to tell you that the chair previous to me and myself fought to have a voting box here. The person that finally did it, I think her name was Priscilla, she was the president of the student government. She was the one that finally accomplished it by writing to, I don't know who. But a lot of people like to take credit for that, but she was instrumental in getting the box here. But as long as I'm around, I'm going to be fighting for it. The commissioner voted, he was arguing against having a box at the university. And I want to know why. Why did he not want the box here? And once the commissioners passed that you were allowed to have an early box here, all the political signs on University Drive disappeared. Talk about retaliation. Did I answer your question?
Thank you, Ms. Harris. We have another question over here.
Attorney, I mean, she's making allegations now. Could I at least have the opportunity to address that?
No, please. Wait just a minute. I'll remember. She's been waiting very patient.
I'm Helen Shelby Boyer. I've lived in this great city for a number of years. I'm looking at the mayor because what I have to be careful what I say about the big city of Prairie View, downtown Prairie View in particular. But I have lived here a long time, and I plan to be here a while longer. I don't think that the boxes were not wanted in Prairie View just to be mean, but one of the concerns that has been, we do have senior citizens in this community. Senior citizens, some of them have the walkers, the wheelchairs, and the whatever else it takes. Now, I know about the voting also. There's curbside voting, but everybody don't know that. And some of the people still don't have anybody to bring them here to do the curbside voting. So, I don't want to speak for anybody, but we need to consider these things when we say that we don't want any the voting on campus. I do. I don't need all the things to help me get around, not yet. And when I do, I'll probably call some of you, even the commissioner, whoever it might be. But what I want to say to the prospective commissioners at this time, the candidates have used the word being very visible. That concerns me. How many of you don't have to raise your hand if you don't want to, because I already know the answer to my question. I just want to see if you're going to answer. How many of you attend Commissioner's Court on a regular basis, 9 a.m. every Wednesday, second floor, Waller County Courthouse? You learn a lot. Everything that has been mentioned in here, we've heard it at Commissioner's Court. Now, some of us have been going to Commissioner's Court for the last 2 or 3 years. Haven't seen some of you there, and I haven't forgotten. So when you make your speeches, remember that some of us out here haven't seen you. It's really important. I encourage you, but I also encourage you to be visible. And if you really want to see something in Commissioner's Court, have Constable Smith there. We need to take ice water sometime to cool him down, because he is fighting for Precinct 3, even down to the telephones. If the Commissioner's Court said we're not going to give Precinct 3 telephones, oh my God, you should see the constable. He is up and on it. I encourage you, not only the candidates, but for you, those of you who are here as citizens, tax-paying citizens like some of us feel like we pay taxes for everybody. You need to go to Commissioner's Court to hear what's going on. I encourage you to do that.
All right, this is for easy. First and foremost, I just want to applaud you for even doing this as a student. With that being said, I noticed that you said you had a car business in Houston, and I wanted to know how would you be able to balance the job as county commissioner and be a full-time student?
Okay, so I get the question a lot of how I manage being so busy. So my car lot in Houston is run by 3 people. They work off commission. So having to deal with that, I don't deal with that right now. They run it right now. So right now I focus on school and I focus on campaigning. So I'm able to I know the balance of things. I know how to balance my time. I know how to make things work the way I need it to work. So being able to be a commissioner, having that time to be a commissioner, I'm going to fit that into my schedule. I'm going to go, whatever I need to drop, I'm going to drop to make sure I get things done around this community. So that's where I'm going to balance my time. I mean, does that answer your question? Okay.
We have one question here.
Okay, I'm Dr. Watkins, and I'm very interested in, like Ms. Maddox said, about our students. And but I'm very concerned because I was in a very controversial meeting not too long ago, and someone burst out and said, well, I'll get the students from Prairie View to fight against you. I don't want people to exploit these students for these activists. If you've got a problem and you've got something that you're fighting, don't depend and don't exploit our students. So as commissioners, sheriffs, constables, all of you, you need to start speaking out about why and when the students should become activated into some fight that's going on. We don't need to exploit our students. Another thing, there's a big racial divide in this Waller County. So we need to start fighting to bring all of us together. There's a big racial divide. And I'm a witness to what some of the things that's going on. So, and I'm working very hard with the university and the school, Hempstead HISD, and the retired teachers. We have formulated, and we are working with all of the schools in Waller County. And we have visited the schools, and we have delivered apples to the teachers, and we've given them information. So we need to start working with the university, but we don't need to exploit the university.
Let me just say something on that, because when it come down to the landfill, y'all know they was out here recruiting the students to march with them. Whenever you seen white folks come out here and recruited the students to do anything, other than when it come down to their community, we have had some serious issues with things going on in the county. And not one time have they came together for us as a community. But when it come down to us, we have always bowed down to go to them and to do things. When it came down to the civil rights movement, Dr. King them wouldn't have had the movement effective until white people started getting killed and white people started getting knocked down. But I say this, when you talk about exploring students, look at what happened with that landfill. They have not came out here and said thank you students or anything. You know, that fight was primarily their fight, but we supported it. We always have supported their agenda, but we need to start fighting for our own agenda.
Thank you. Good. Oh, we're gonna take this question over here and
Okay.
2 more.
You know, I didn't get a chance to speak, and I hate to insult you guys with actual paper. My name is Denise Maddox. I am the president of the Waller County Democratic Club. I am also on the part of the county executive committee for the Waller County Democratic Party. And I am so pleased that all of you guys are here today. I do have some questions for the candidates, but it's like thousands of questions for the candidates. I don't know if I should ask a question or clarify some things that were erroneous. But first I'm going to say this, because this is important to me. I don't really socialize that much, so I have to be really careful. But there's a gentleman called Neely Fuller Jr., and when we are dealing with one another, he has said if we can practice these 10 things, we can maybe get something done. We are going to stop snitching on one another, okay? We are going to stop name-calling one another. We're going to stop cursing. And this one's tough. We're going to stop gossiping. We're going to stop being discourteous, especially when we are speaking. We're going to stop stealing and robbing from each other, whether that's, professional. We're definitely going to stop killing one another, and we are going to stop squabbling. Now, those are not my commandments. Those are the 10 commandments of Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. for how people can work together better. Now, as far as my questions are concerned, I just have a couple of quick questions, and I want to do something else. I want to ask about the jail. This is a big deal. I don't want it to blindside you guys. The commissioners have this grand vision of a new jail. Our current jail is 1.43 acres. It is on Calvert Street in Hempstead, Texas. Is everyone familiar with that? Okay, the commissioners have a grand plan, because I go to commissioners court almost every Wednesday, and Ms. Boyer is correct. I haven't seen you guys there. So their grand plan is to spend at least $25 million on a new jail. They want to take the current jail, which is 1.4 acres, and expand it to 63, or is it 64 acres, Commissioner?
The area is 64, but that whole area will not be.
All right, just that right there. Okay, just that right there, from 1.4 acres to 63 acres. Now, I don't know how much history you guys know, but the Clintons were in office. It was called a crime bill. And that crime bill put aside a tremendous amount of money, and all of these prisons went up, and they all got filled. Well, that's when the Clintons were in. It was the 1994 crime bill, or is it 1992? 94 crime bill. And they put a tremendous amount of money in new prisons. And guess what happened? Here we are, 20 years later. They're all full. So when I see the commissioners with this grand plan to put in a new jail, they say we need a new jail. Yeah, every building needs to be made new. But when you go from 1.43 acres to 1.63, then I have a problem with that. Now, Commissioner Barnett, are you for this?
Nobody is for a jail. You have to realize I've been in law enforcement majority of my adult life, but nobody is for a jail. I don't think a jail is a place where you just haphazardly send people. But this is what the truth is, folks. In Waller County, the jail that we have, that jail has been over there for approximately 30 plus years. Okay, the jail that's there now, it came back in 1984, 1983, somewhere in there. That jail is so dilapidated. I know you all have heard about the people that's been escaping from the jail and everything else. Okay? Now, the Commissioner's Court, we don't want a jail. We don't want to have to spend your tax money for one. But the state is telling us we don't have no choice. If we don't build another jail facility, one that is regulatory and regulated by the state to where they can come in, the county is going to start getting fined so many hundreds or thousands of dollars per day for not being up to standard. Now we're just making through standards. There's a jail standard that the state of Texas have that every county, all 254, have to pass. Okay, that's on the part of the sheriff. That would be Mr. Watson. If he was elected sheriff, that would be on him. But your county commissioner is responsible as far as the money budgeted for that jail. We don't want to spend the money, okay? But we haven't any choice. The place is dilapidated. It's corroded. It's so bad until the people who make money repairing jails don't even want to come and repair this one because they're scared to get on the roofs. They're scared to do other things. So it's not that we have a grand plan. We don't. That's why we're still toying with it.
Thank you, Commissioner.
You want me to finish or?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were.
Well, just for the sake of time, because we are about an hour beyond.
Okay.
We would like
Okay,
to
Attorney.
accept that as your response.
Sure.
And we'll go ahead with one other question.
Okay. This is as the president of the Waller County Democratic Club. We have everyone here is running on the Democratic Party platform, but I can tell you right now, the members who we have who have been long-standing members are Constable Smith and Darrell Johnson and Rosa Patland Harris, Ben Tibbs. There's like 4 people who've been long. We've had some new members. Sharif Bey, Mr. Sharif Bey has just recently joined, and so has well, he's not up here. But I want to ask, why is it that now that you're running on the Democratic Party platform, you never associated with any Democrats before? So all of you candidates who are not members of the Waller County Democratic Club, please tell me why you don't feel any need to associate with the Democrats prior to running for office.
Well, me personally, I am new to Waller County, and I am just being made aware that we had, when I started running, I just made aware that we had a Waller County Democratic Club. That's when I met you and some other individuals that are part of the club. So that's why I'm not involved into that. I have been involved on campus as a spokesman for different events on campus that does deal with Democrats. But toward your question, I can't really, I haven't been here. I've only been here for a year and a half, so that's not an excuse, but that's my reason.
Constable, Mr. Sharif Bey, why hadn't you, prior to this, affiliated with the Democratic Club? Oh, he was? Oh, I'm sorry. You were, and then you left out. Okay, that was before my 2 years. Okay. I'm so sorry. My apologies.
You're asking me also?
Yes, please, Commissioner.
Just like Bay, I was, but the club got so messy and so divisive, I made my exodus. But I am still a part of the Democrat Party in Waller County.
Okay, all right. Can I clear up 2 things? I have here the election results for the primary in 2014 because I am data driven. We have from precinct 309, you had 83 people vote. That's 2014. If you want to take a look at this, you can do that. Okay. All right. Also, as far as they were saying that they had people who were registering the students wrong, I talked to the clerk in that office yesterday at 4 p.m. They had it down to like 40. And most of it was because they couldn't read the handwriting and they weren't unfamiliar with the names. Because if your name is not Smith, Jones, or Davis, then they want to make a big deal about your name and kick you out. That's what it was. And they said a person had filled out the card wrong for one of the students and misspelled the name. That is not true. I took my copy and we did the other copy. The handwriting was exactly the same. There was no clerk who filled that out. The student was just having a flair when they wrote their name. So anything else I can correct for you, call me, because I tell you, I have the data, I know the truth, and I'll be happy to share it with you.
Dr. Denise Maddox is the president of the Waller County Democrat Club.
Can I just say this real quick? We got about 30 baked potato stuff with barbecue beef, first come, first served, and the jazz club. First 30 you can get. All right.
We have one. This gentleman has been waiting for his question. Go ahead.
Well, it's a simple question. It's for the paid candidates. How do you plan to give back to the community? All the paid candidates who are paid salary.
The salaried candidates.
Well, one way I give back every Juneteenth, I have a Juneteenth feeding that we do every year. And so we're going to continue to do that. We also give toys out for Christmas to the children. So those are things we do.
One thing I do, I go out and make sure that and try to find jobs to secure for graduating students. I have done so with a couple of engineering firms. We'll continue to do so. I'm working with a young man right now who has graduated this past summer, and now he's trying to get in officer candidate school in the United States military. So I'm trying to assist him. I believe that's the best way to give back. You've done your time here at the university, working hard to get it. So I want to help you get it.
Thank you. We, when you registered this morning, when you came in at the front desk, you were given an evaluation form. We'd like to make sure that you complete it and hand it out. Sarah Malone is standing at the back. Sarah, raise your hand. You can give it to Sarah. You can give it to Judge Jackson. Myself, Miss Preston. Before we adjourn, let me take some time now to thank the individuals who have helped work with this. First, I want to start out by thanking all the students. We had a lot of student participation. And we also had some wonderful participation with the Waller County Democratic Club, and we have some other individuals in the room, I believe, who are candidates. We had the Democratic candidate for Congress was here earlier. I think she had to leave.
Tawana Katie, an excellent Democratic candidate.
She had to leave, so she was here. We also have, I believe, Mr. David Allen is a candidate for
Mayor for the city of Prairie View.
For the city of Prairie View. And is there another candidate? I'm going to run these high heels. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And would you just state your name and the office?
My name is Dr. Michael Prince. I'm running for mayor of City of Prairie View, currently serving as a 3-term member for Waller ISD School Board.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So I just want to thank you all for coming out today. We want to thank Judge Jackson, our community partner, Waller County District Attorney's Office. We couldn't have put this on without the help, and I definitely want to thank my Blackstone pre-law students, Ms. Rebecca Preston, who served as the co-moderator, Ms. Brielle Wilson, and Ms. Tiffany Preston. Tiffany Moore. Tiffany Moore. So we thank y'all. We will continue this election series. This is the first of several that we will have leading up to the general election. So thank you for your participation.
You guys,